Today I have some awesome projects for you that you can make in 20 minutes or less. The secret to these projects is starting with charm squares. Charm square is a name for a piece of fabric that's 5 inches square and usually sold in a bundle. Charm squares are sold at most fabric stores, but you can also cut your own at home. In this video, I'm sharing a charity sewing project that you will love to make, an adorable project for your kitchen, and another home project that you can switch out for the holidays, plus sewing tips and tricks along the way. So grab your favorite charm squares and let's get started. The first project is this super cute potholder project. I love potholders and I love patchwork, so this one is super fun. You only need 4 charm squares for this. So it's a great project to use with your leftover charm squares. We are gonna need 4 charm squares for this project, and then a scrap of fabric for the back of the potholder and some fabric for the binding. We're also gonna need batting. I like to use needled batting. For this, we're going to use 2 layers. Also grab a can of spray base, and then we're ready to get started. Start by picking one of your squares to be the middle of the potholder. We're going to leave that one whole. Then pick 2 squares to be the sides. I'm going to use these 2 striped ones, and we are going to cut these in half so that we have 4 rectangles. Use a ruler to measure 2.5 inches and then just slice these in half. And then with your last square, we're going to cut this into quarters. So cut it in half with the 2.5 inches and then cut it in half again to give you 4 squares. Now we are going to lay these out. I like to put the rectangles across from each other, and then we're going to put those little squares in the corners. I laid mine out in vertical rows, and we're going to go ahead and sew each of these little sections together. Once you're done, pull them over to your pressing station. We are going to press the seam allowances in opposite directions. So for the 2 side pieces, I am pressing the seam allowances into the middle, and for the middle piece, I'm pressing the seam allowances out. Now we're going to flip the middle piece over and sew these together. Before you sew, we are going to make sure the seam allowances are nested together. That means they're going to be butting up against each other, one going one way and the other going the other. Sew both sides on, and then we're going to bring it back to our pressing mat and press these open. Now grab your batting. We're going to do 2 layers of batting, so I'm just going to fold this in half so I have 2 layers. Then I'm going to put my patchwork on top and give this a rough cut around the edges just so that this batting is out of my way as I'm working with it. Now get your backing fabric. I'm going to give this a quick press and put it right behind my little sandwich. So I have the backing fabric face down, 2 layers of batting, and then my patchwork face up, and we are going to spray baste all of these layers together. So you'll have to just peel them up, spray underneath, and then lay them back down, smoothing them out as you go. I like to use 2 layers of batting because I don't like to burn my hands, and I feel like 1 layer of batting is just not enough for a potholder with hot pans. Now cut off that excess backing fabric to get it out of our way, and now we're going to top stitch this to give it a quilted look. You can really use any top stitching pattern you want, but for this project I like to top stitch 1/4 inch from the seams. So on each side I'm going to sew down 1/4 inch along the seam and then flip it around and sew down the other side. And this will just help our fabrics kind of pop out from the rest of the fabrics and give it a cool look. After you have finished that, we're going to bring it to our cutting mat and trim it down. So we're just going to square this up with the patchwork. And then when that is done, the last step is to add our binding. I am using 2.5 inch binding for this project. You just need to make sure you have enough to go all the way around the potholder, plus a little bit extra for a loop. So if you need to sew multiple strips together, go ahead and do that. Then press the strips in half lengthwise. And now we're going to start sewing this on. I like to start sort of near a corner, and we're going to give it a few inches and start sewing on with 3/8 inch seam allowance. Sew down one side until you are 3/8 inches away from the edge, and then stop and pull your potholder out of the sewing machine. And now we're going to fold the binding up to create this triangle. So we're going to line up that fold with the top of the potholder and then keep sewing on 3/8 inch. That'll give us that nice corner that we can turn later. When you get back to where you started, we are going to finish off this binding by turning it down to create a triangle and then trimming off the excess fabric. This is just a simple way to finish off the binding on a small project. I don't do this on quilts, but since we're just making a potholder, We just want it to be quick, so we are going to just trim that off and then repeat that same thing for the other side. So overlap it a little, and then we're going to fold it up to create that triangle shape. That way we have two nicely finished edges. To create a loop, grab an extra piece of binding about 5 or 6 inches long, fold the short edges into the middle and press, and then fold the entire thing in half lengthwise again and press to secure. Then top stitch along those edges 1/8 of an inch from the folds, and we're gonna just find a little corner spot to sew that into. So what I'm gonna do is flip the binding back and then just follow the stitching line that I already have there to secure the loop. And now we're gonna go ahead and flip the binding to the back and use a hand needle and thread to do an invisible stitch along the binding to secure it to the back. This stitch is a really discreet way to attach binding, and it looks so good when it's finished. When you get to the corner, I like to use the needle to kind of help me create an angle of a triangle along that corner. And then you can either stitch down into the corner or just secure that little spot at the top and then keep sewing the binding on. Stitch right over the loop and keep attaching the binding until you have finished the entire potholder. Now your potholder is done and ready for baking. Next, I'm going to show you how to turn any pattern into a patchwork pattern with charm squares. This project is a mastectomy pillow. These are designed for women who have gotten mastectomies or lumpectomies. They help in recovery because they are great to stick under the armpit where the sensitive area is, and they're also great for protecting from seatbelts in the car. For this project, we are going to need about 14 charm squares and then some fabric for the back of the pillow. The template for this project is available on my website. You can click the link in the description to download it. My link also has a list of hospitals that accept these as donations, so it's a great charity sewing project. I printed 2 of these and I'm taping them together to create the whole heart. This will help since we're doing a patchwork. The pattern is typically a cut on fold, but since we are doing a patchwork, I want one whole pattern, so print it twice and tape together. Now we're going to create a patchwork panel that is big enough to cover this entire pattern piece. So we're going to be doing 3 rows of 4 and then a little row of 2 at the bottom to cover that point. I like to lay out my fabrics before I start sewing just to make sure I like the way they look. So I originally did a 4x4 grid, but then later realized I didn't need those 2 at the bottom. Now I'm going to start by taking the top row to my sewing machine and sewing all 4 of these pieces together. Since I'm doing a checkerboard pattern, I'm just making sure to sew every other, a white to a pink, and then I'm going to repeat this process until I've sewn all my rows together. Once you have 3 rows of 4 and 1 row of 2, we are going to take these to the pressing mat and press the seam allowances towards the darker fabric, which is the pink. Since we are using a white on this one, if we press all the seam allowances into the pink, we'll be able to nest them really nicely since we have a checkerboard pattern going on. So press all the seam allowances towards the pink, and now we are ready to sew these together. So we are going to sew them together row by row, making sure to nest up those seams and then sew the last 2 in the center at the bottom. Now before we press, I'm just going to check to make sure this is a good fit, and it is. So I'm going to flip this over and press all these seam allowances open. And once that is done, I like to turn it over and just give that a nice final press to make this really pretty. And then we're going to grab the backing fabric, and I am just going to press this little corner so that I have enough to go behind my patchwork. And I'm going to lay my patchwork face down on the fabric for the back. The backing fabric is going to be face up. So we're going to cut this out, and then we're going to take it immediately to sew together. So I like to have them facing each other, right sides together, before we start pinning. That way we don't have to flip or shift around the fabric before we take it to the sewing machine. Once you have it pinned, cut around the heart template. Now we are going to remove all the pins, but keep the layers of fabric together, so just remove the paper template. And then use the pins to pin the fabric back together, especially focusing on where your seam allowances are. Now we're going to sew all the way around the heart with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. I would typically leave an opening on one of the edges, but instead I'm going to go ahead and open one of my seams from the patchwork later. That way the outline of the heart won't be affected by our opening. Sew around the heart, pivoting at the middle point and at the bottom point. Now we are just going to clip into that point in the middle and then also clip the curves of the heart so that we get a nice finish when we turn it right side out. Now grab your seam ripper and we are going to pick one of our patchwork seams to unpick. We just need about 3 inches to access the inside of the heart so we can turn it right side out and stuff it. So carefully turn that right side out and push all those edges and curves out. Then grab your iron and press along the edges, pulling them out as you need to. Now grab some fiber fill stuffing and we're going to stuff this up. We don't want to stuff it too much because we want this pillow to be very soft. If you have cluster fiber fill stuffing, I think that is the best for getting a really good fill. Otherwise, just make sure you're breaking up your stuffing as you go, and if you have overfilled it, you can just take some out. Once you are happy with your amount of stuff, we are going to sew this closed. So what I'm doing right here is just tracing my seam that was there. There's still little needle holes from where my seam was, and that is where I'm going to sew the blocks together. So I'm going to use a ladder stitch to sew the fold of the pink square to the line I did on that white square. Keep these stitches pretty tight so we have a strong hold. Once you have finished sewing that together, tie your thread off and then push your needle down right where the thread is coming out and pull it out a spot a few inches away and then clip your thread off. This will help keep your knot safe from unraveling. Now go ahead and press this to give it a nice little finish. When I'm pressing this, you're going to see my purple marker is going to be showing through, but that will disappear in the air in a day or so. And now your heart pillow is ready to go. And finally, I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous Christmas patchwork pillow. This is made with Christmas charm squares, but you can use any charm squares for this project to make it year-round or seasonal for another season. To get started, we are going to need a charm square pack. I am using this Jingle Bells fabric that is perfect for Christmas. It has some red, green, and pops of aqua, which is so fun. So I'm going to use a turquoise for the backing, and then I pulled out a mint green bias tape. The bias tape is optional, but it's a fun little thing for the back of the fabric. We're also going to need spray base and batting. Start by opening your charm square pack and picking out 20 squares for the front of the pillow. I am going to do a diagonal with some of the colors, so I'm going to pick out greens, whites, turquoise, and red, and then I am just going to use 5 of each of those colors. For this pillow, I'm going to lay out my pattern before I get started sewing, and I am just going to start with a red and then kind of create a pattern, red, green, white, turquoise, red, and then I'll just continue that diagonal pattern until I have a grid 5 by 4. Once my grid is done, we are going to sew these together in rows. So I like to just kind of gather up my first row and take it to my sewing machine. If you need to, you can write down the order of your colors to help you out. So we're going to sew these together in order and then take our row back to where I have all the patches laid out and take the next one and keep going until we have sewn all these rows together. Once all your rows are done, we are going to take our rows and press the seam allowances in opposite directions. So flip them over, press the first row to the left, the second row to the right, the third row to the left, and so on. Now flip them back over and we are going to start sewing these together to create the front of our pillow. So grab the first 2 rows, make sure every time you get to a seam you are locking that seam or nesting it together, and you can do that with pins or just watch those seam allowances as you feed them through your sewing machine and make sure they don't flip before you get to your needle. Keep sewing the rows together until you have a panel of 20 charm squares, and then go ahead and press the seam allowances in one direction to give this a nice finish. Trim off an inch from each side of the panel. This will not be our final size. We're going to trim it down a little bit more later, but we'll get rid of some of the extra fabric right now. Now grab a piece of backing fabric and a piece of batting that are bigger than the patchwork. We're going to make a sandwich. The patchwork on top, batting in the middle, and then the backing on the back. The backing is actually going to be the lining to the pillow. We're just going to spray base these layers together to hold them. Before quilting these layers together, make sure you let the spray base dry. If you don't, you might get tacky adhesive on your sewing machine needle. Now we're going to take this to the machine and top stitch along those squares. So I'm going to do a 1/4 inch on both sides of each seam. That'll give me a really nice quilted look, and I just love the way it makes the fabric pop. Now we're going to trim this down to 16 inches by 20 inches. Cut 2 pieces from your backing fabric measuring 16 by 24, and we're going to fold these in half to create an envelope back for this pillow cover. Fold them in half and press really well, and then we're going to use our bias tape to give one of these sides a cute little finish. So sandwich that bias tape over the folded edge of one of your backing pieces, and then stitch it on close to the edge of the tape. Now we'll assemble the pillow cover. Put the side with the bias tape down first, and then put the other back down on the other side of your front panel. These are going to overlap in the middle. So pin these in place, and then we're going to sew all the way around. Since we have the envelope opening, we can use that to open and turn our pillowcase, so you do not need to leave an opening. Just trim your corners before you turn, and then make sure you get your corners turned out really well. Once you have it turned right side out, give this a nice press. I like to use some steam, and then your pillow cover is done, so you can fill it with an insert. I am actually just using a 16 by 20 throw pillow that I found at Walmart. This was cheaper than an insert, so I went ahead and did that, and then I have a regular pillow I can use after the Christmas season. Thank you so much for watching. For more Charm Square projects, click the video above.